Hello, I'm Bud McCord. I'm in Brazil, South America. Welcome to Food for Thought, Thinking with Jesus. Not just thinking about Jesus, but thinking with Jesus. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. I believe that a Christian can think with the mind of Christ, and I've written a number of devotionals, daily devotionals, and I have put them together in a book that is in Portuguese and one day will be in English. And their thoughts about thinking with Jesus. And today is October 21st. The title of the devotion is The Exempt. The Exempt. Now, I wrote this devotional years ago, and I wrote it when I was frustrated. I can tell I was frustrated just by the tone of my writing here in this devotional. So it's a good confession day for me. So today, if I were to write this devotional, I might include beyond the title, The Exempt, another title, a subtitle that said, Calm Down, Bud. Calm down. I think you'll understand as I explain it, and I'll show you what it is that can help me to calm down. And I know not maybe, it's Jesus, and he can calm you down too if something really frustrates you like it did me. Let me read the devotional and then we'll think with Jesus. One of the most frustrating things for me in the human experience is to see exemptions being given to some people who see themselves as above the rest of humanity. Many people see themselves as exempt from the laws that govern others. The more exemptions given in a culture, the weaker the social structure becomes. I have seen this fact in action, and it is ugly. Chaos is not far away when exemptions are the norm. To see this process in action, just go to the nearest airport and watch how people begin to exempt themselves from everything from where they park, how long they stay in a no parking zone, and how long they are willing to stay in line without looking for a way out, and how frustrated they become being treated like everyone else. The good news is that God's kingdom allows no exemptions. It is a kingdom of universal love and grace, but no exemptions. The difference is amazing. Just a taste of love and grace instead of exemptions is liberating. Recently, I was once again very frustrated by the culture of exemptions that one sees where we live. I was complaining loudly about the driving habits of the exempt, and my wife Pam calmly said, "No one gets a pass on glorifying God." What a relief to my soul. As a sinner, I don't want people punished. I just want to believe that the culture of exemptions will someday die and be replaced by a culture better than law with exemptions. Romans 3:23 tells us this, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." I like the devotional. I like the thought about yes and no. I'm a very firm believer that we should all live what Jesus said as believers. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. What goes beyond this is of the evil one, of the devil. So a culture where yes is yes and no is no is good for everyone involved in that culture. The problem with my frustration and the problem with my attitude was that I seem to have exempted myself from the times that I have parked where I shouldn't park, and I have passed another car where I shouldn't have passed. And my little bit of exemption seemed to give me a pass when I was comparing my little exemption to the big exemption others were getting. So listen to the words of Jesus, and you'll see why I think it's necessary for us to think with Jesus. It's not just good enough for us to think about Jesus or about theology. We literally need to think with Jesus to get things the way they should be. Listen to this in Matthew chapter 7. Jesus says this to us, "Judge not that you be not judged, for with what judgment you judge, you will be judged. And the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eye, and look, a plank is in your own eye? Hypocrite, first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Here's what Jesus says when I think with Jesus. He says, calm down, bud. Calm down. Now, I don't like it when anybody says to me, calm down, bud. I have never liked it. Because I think when somebody says, calm down, bud, I feel somewhat judged. Or I feel like somebody's trying to control me, and I don't do well with either of those two things. But when I let Jesus talk to me and he says, calm down, I do calm down. It's an amazing thing, because as I think with Jesus, I realize that if he's telling me to calm down, I really do need to calm down. I'm about to make a big mistake. So what mistake is he trying to cure me of? The mistake of thinking that I'm really fundamentally different than everybody else. That's a huge mistake. I may not sin maybe as much, but I sin. So if I was in a circle and I was about to condemn all these drivers who don't do what they should where I live, and he said, well, okay, anybody here who has never done something wrong in your behavior as a driver can cast the first stone. I would be out. So there is a sense in which I need to let go of this desire to judge, and I need to understand that the best thing I can do for the culture that surrounds me is to do what Jesus tells me to do. And he tells me this: get the plank out of your own eye, which you can see clearly because it's right in your own eye. In other words, deal with yourself, bud. And then you can help your culture see itself. You know, every time I've ever gotten really angry in the traffic here where I live, and I give that person a dirty look who just went by me where they shouldn't, or who took my place and cut me off, I've never seen them get better by me staring at them and thinking bad things about them. But maybe if I just continue to be me and stay calm, maybe it would embarrass them enough maybe to rethink. Maybe not, but I think maybe we can convert one or two at a time, and we can make a better culture. Listen to these words in Romans chapter 2. You remember in Romans chapter 1, the Apostle Paul gives a list of behaviors that will emerge when people forget God and are unthankful and they become vain in their own imaginations. And it's a horrendous list of sinful behavior. And I don't see myself in that list. You know, I think, wow, look at that list. But how does God see me? Okay, listen to what the Apostle Paul says. We read chapter 1, and that means, oh, look at that. I'm not one of those people. Listen to what he says in chapter 2 in Romans. He says this: therefore you are inexcusable, O man, whoever you are who judge. For in whatever you judge another, you condemn yourself. For you who judge practice the same things. But we know that the judgment of God is according to truth against those who practice such things. And do you think this, O man, you who judge those practicing such things and doing the same, that you will escape the judgment of God? Or do you, O man, do you despise the riches of his goodness, forbearance, and long-suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leads you to repentance? What leads people to repentance? Goodness, not judgment. What led you? What led me? Goodness, not judgment. Well, I feel more calm now. It's good to confess when you wrote something many years ago that it's pretty good, but didn't quite get all the way there. Well, I hope this one with the explanation got a little closer. But really, the key to all this is for you to take these thoughts, whatever you want to do with them, and maybe take these thoughts to Jesus and get it straight from him. Because when you get it straight from him, it'll calm you down. But if you get it from somebody like me, you might think of 50 reasons to not listen to me. But I don't think you can find a single reason not to listen to Jesus. So think with Jesus about these things. God bless. Have a great day.